Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to talk about the current state of standard for Magic. As you guys know, if you've been following my channel for a while, I played Modern in 25, went to a lot of RCQs that season, did pretty well. I went to, and now I'm basically a Commander player. But since we're going to have basically a year straight of standard RCQs, I figured, why not slap together a deck and, go and play. I haven't played standard since 2020, so, I want to get back into it, and it was the format that actually got me into playing Magic. So, made this little combo deck. Basically, it's Onslaught combo with Brawler. Whole deck is basically centered around plotting him next on your turn 3 or 4. We have elves that kind of ramp it up, makes it go a little faster. And then turn 4, play this for free, and then you make 2 copies of him. And they're 2 20/20s with trample and haste. And you swing and you kill your opponent. So that's the main combo. Combo deck I was playing. This is a different deck I'm playing for standard. If I go to any more RCQs this year, or coming up here, but we'll see. So I have gone to about 3 RCQs so far. And one of them didn't even fire because there wasn't enough people. I want you guys to let that set in for a minute. There wasn't enough people for a standard RCQ to start it. You need a minimum of 8 players. There were 6 people, including me, at this tournament. So obviously, that was a huge waste of time, I thought. And this was, I think, the first one I went to in 25. And I was like, wow, is this how, is this what standard is? I don't know. It was a local tournament, RCQ tournament. But, during Modern, that local RCQ store, we saw a minimum of 16 to 20 people. So I don't know what happened there, but whatever. Okay. So I've been playing Arena off and on and playing some jank stuff, but I'll wait for that. Because there's more to talk about with that. But anyway, so fast forward to the second tournament, and we have 8 people. And I'm one of them. I'm like, wow, this is going so well. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing this, but this is kind of ridiculous. So we have to do, for 8 people, it's a single elimination, which is stupid. I'm just going to call it. Because I want to play more than one game of standard, right? But I can't because there are never any tournaments for standard in my local area, or even in the nearby cities where I'm at. There's never any standard tournaments. So it's like, I don't even know where to go to actually play competitive standard. And standard arena is a joke. Again, I'm gonna have to talk about that in a minute, but it's completely different. Because people are just basically making decks that are designed in a way to win that one game as fast as possible to move on to the next game. But anyway, it's completely different. So I play the game, and I lost. I did win a match, or a game. I won a game. I lost the match, if that makes sense. It's best 2 out of 3, whatever. I didn't care. I was like, okay. You know, I did better than I thought I would. You know, it was against a Demir mid range. Awesome. And then I left. I was like, wow, that was awesome. Uh, anyway, there was a RCQ at a nearby city, so I drove there. And usually, uh, when they were having RCQ modern tournaments at this particular game store, we were seeing, you know, good amount of people. In fact, there was a circuit of players that would come by from out of town, large number of them. Uh, they would show up from another out of state area that I can't mention. Anyway, there was large groups of people that would show up at this event because it's kind of a bigger city. And there was 13 people there, including me, at this tournament. Standard RCQ tournament at a big city, or bigger city, I guess, which usually host about 60 players. There was 13 people. Couldn't even do top 8. We had to do top 4. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. This will be relevant in a minute. So we play this tournament, and actually I do pretty well. I do a lot better than I thought I would do. But I play 5 rounds. It's 5-round Swiss, which, you know, whatever. It's usually more than that, but okay. 5-round Swiss. And I went 3-2. If we had done top 8, I would have made top 8, but whatever. But one thing that stood out to me was just the lack of deck diversity at this tournament. Now, I'm playing my jank deck here, but there were, out of the 13 people there were at least 7 other people playing Izzet Lessons. Now, I'm familiar with the deck because everybody is playing it in Arena, and it doesn't get any less old. After about the 400th time you've seen it, it gets pretty dull at some point. And, you know, I personally think the deck is kind of annoying, and it's also kind of boring. Well, you filter with Grim Grim or Gram Gram or whatever it's called the whole game. Cool. And then you have that artifact where whenever you discard, you get some benefits. But whatever. Like, I think it's boring. But, I mean, when it's every, like, 3 out of 5 matches were against that, like, I don't know. And I won all 3 of those, just in case you guys were wondering. Somehow. It's just, I don't know. I guess the main point is why nobody's showing up. And one thing I've been thinking about was the reason why was, well, I mean, there's a couple things. One is the power level has shot up, definitely, from 2020. My goodness. It shot up. I mean, basically, almost every card that's in a deck now is a kill on sight kind of thing. Like, as soon as, you know, like, example, I was playing against Simic Ouroboros, and there's like Bristly Bill. You cannot let that card sit on the board. You got to kill it immediately. There's is it Ouroboros? Am I saying that right? I don't know. It's a 4-mana dude that at the beginning of combat you get +1/+1 counters on all of your creatures equal to its power. That's not broken. And if you let that resolve, you're 100% going to lose that game. It's just like, there are so many cards that you just have to answer immediately, and it just is it doesn't really make the game that fun. Someone was playing oh my gosh, what's that card called? It's a Final Fantasy card with landfall. Um, there's like 40 of them in that set, huh? It's the girl character. Power doubles every time a land hits the board and has trample for some reason. You gotta kill that immediately because you're gonna die next turn. Or maybe even that turn if they have haste somehow. Like, it's a lot of kill on sight stuff. And some of these decks were killing people on turn 4. Like, oh, you don't have an answer for this? You're dead. And, I was playing a lot of interaction, which is why I was able to get around, like, the stupid, is it, whatever deck? Is it Lessons deck or whatever it's called? But it's just like, there's so many overpowered cards in the format. And we went from VV. Now, I didn't play during this time, but I did play on Arena. And we went from VV, where Izzet was very powerful, to now Izzet being, again, very powerful because they don't know how to balance these cards right. I don't know what's going on. I really think with Avatar, this is my theory, and I know people are going to be like, oh, that's wrong, but I think what happened was they saw how Spider-Man did poorly, and they decided to up the power level of Avatar, so that way people would force to play it, and that's exactly what happened. And the those cards, those lesson cards are, they're pretty pushed, but not really anything you can do about it. I also think another problem is that people are, and I hate to say this, but I mean, maybe not so with like Magic, but Pokemon for sure has a scalping problem. And Magic is starting to get that as well. I can tell you right now, when I went to when I showed up to a pre-release for Edge of Eternities, I didn't play it. A bunch of people there, but none of them were players. They were just collectors. They bought their pre-release kits and then went home. So I think that's also kind of becoming a big deal where nobody's actually playing the game anymore. They're just buying the product and then sitting on it. Yeah, I don't really know how else to combat that, but it is what it is. I don't know if anybody else is seeing that problem. Another big thing is, I slapped this deck together for 50, 60 bucks, but it's not a meta deck. If you want to play a meta deck, get ready to shell out, $500, $600, especially when they're making horrible design cards like the Bear Cub from Avatar. What were they even thinking with that nonsense? Also, I don't know if it's a hot take, but the Earthbend mechanic, I don't know what they were on with that one either. Like, if you turn your land to a creature and it dies, it goes to the grave. It should not just come back as a land, because now landfall is going to be even better now. But I don't know. It's just like, and then they really pushed a lot of cards in Avatar, and if you want to play standard, it's expensive. because people are hoarding product. Scalpers are buying up everything and sitting on it and selling it at a higher premium. And then on top of that, you know, you need the cards in order to be good or to have a chance. So, yeah, I mean, and then the cards rotate in like 3 years anyway. So, used to be, and when I was playing, I mean, you could buy a meta deck for about $100, you know, 120, I think. And now it's like, oh, you gotta cop up, you know, modern prices now for a format that rotates. And I think that's also another issue for why people aren't playing standard. Again, it's all hypothetical. I mean, the only evidence I really have is nobody showing up to RCQs at all, barely. And most of them are playing the exact same deck. So, let me know if you guys have had similar experiences with standard, but right now I'm not even too sure if I want to keep playing. And that's all.